Hey guys, it's Vandiezel back again with another card fight Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the Patreon. And let's get one started. Today we have Nova Grappler, Raizers. This was the long-awaited deck of one of my friends, and he was very disappointed after seeing Raizers. But, you know, Raizers are still good. They have their potential. I want to let it be known I don't run Cat Butler just for the sole purpose of I don't like it. Whether you agree with that or not, that's up to you. So let's go ahead and get this one started. First up, our starter is Battle Raizer, 6k base, 10k shield, grade 0 with boost, auto when rode upon, draw a card, then if your opponent's Vanguard take grade 1 or greater, you get a quick shield ticket. So, nothing special about it, you just get a draw and you get a quick shield. Actually, this one does have something special about it, because unlike every other starter that comes to Recollection, except for maybe Godhawk Ichibiyoshi, you can use this for multiple of your abilities. For example, one of the grade 1s requires this to be in Soul, or to be more or less useful, or one of its skills requires it. One of the grade 2s requires it, and that is more or less it, but still, it can still be, it's more useful than all the other starters, so it does have a purpose outside of just being rode upon. So, nice grade 0, I guess. Our trigger lineup is 4 3 minutes, 4 Turbo Raizer, 4 Extreme Battler Break Pass, which is a Sentinel, and you can put it in up to 4 Sentinels in any deck with a 30k shield, and it's a critical trigger, and 4 heal triggers and Wall Boy. This is more or less the all-star lineup of the person that was looking for Raizer's favorite cards. Turbo Raizer's here because it's a Raizer and the deck actually revolves around Raizers. 3 minutes is here because that's his favorite draw. Break Pass is here because it was smarter than Twin Blader, and Wall Boy is here because that's also his favorite heal. And all that is not important, so let's go ahead and get on to the main deck. First up, we have 2 copies of Jet Raizer, 7k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost, auto van or rear. When your other rear guard is placed, this unit gets +3. Oh, for the love of God, this can be abused to so many extents. I cannot tell you how I got fucking killed by Jet Raizer spam. It was the dumbest bull I've ever seen, and I was killed by Jet Raizer, and there's only 2 of them. So, Jet Raizer, really nice grade 1, even though it seems like it doesn't have that much power, it gets so much if you know what you're doing. 2 copies, because it's really good. 3 copies of Trans Raizer, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost, auto rear when it boosts Soul Blast 2, countercharge 1, and if the attack target is a Vanguard, this unit gets +3 to end the battle. So possibly 11k booster, and you get a countercharge. This is here because the deck, both the main grade 3s do counter blast a lot, and you do a decent amount of counter blast too, and you have a good amount of soul, so you might as well use that soul to get a counter charge off of it. So Trans Raizer is a nice grade 1 to have to kind of balance out the counter blasting. So 3 copies. 3 copies of Raizer Custom, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. On Act Van, once per turn, put a card from hand to soul. This unit can attack even on the first turn, and it loses a drive by doing so. So a way to kind of just get an extra attack out on Van, but you don't lose it, but you don't get a drive out of it, and you're kind of losing a hand card, but it's still worth it, you know. Put them to 1 damage, screw you. And then auto rear, once per turn, when your other rear guard on the same column as it stands, you may stand this unit. So, a way to get multiple attacks, if that was not a once per turn, this deck could abuse the fuck out of that, but Raizer Custom is still a nice grade 1 to have regardless, and he's a 3 of. And finally, 4 of Raptari Raizer, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto, when it's placed on Van, you may call a Battle Raizer from your soul to rear, one of the 2 cards that makes this thing more useful than it actually is. And then act rear guard once per turn, counterblast 1 and put a rear guard to soul. Search your deck for up to 1 Raizer that is 1 grade higher than the card put for this effect's cost, call it to rear, and then shuffle your deck. Okay, this is partially the reason why most of the deck is Raizers, because, you know, this and the main grade 3 actually revolve around like Raizers attacking or being on the field, or in deck mostly. So that's kind of the whole point why Cat Butler isn't here, because it's not a Raizer, so it restricts the amount of searching you can do. And while that's not really an important note, to me it is, and it also restricts the amount of times you can multi-attack with it to some extent. Cat Butler is just my least favorite grade 0 of all time, which is why I don't run it. If you want to run it, you can, considering the deck does better with Cat Butler, at least I assume it would. But Raptari Raizer, you know, a free toolbox. Literally shove anything in this deck to soul, regardless if it's a Raizer or not, of any grade, and then you can call something that's 1 grade higher. Take a grade 0, turn into this. Take a grade 1, turn into your main grade 2. Take a grade 2, turn it into one of your grade 3s that, granted, doesn't have a rear guard ability, but it's a 12k base, so you probably did it for a reason. So, nice grade 1, really good thing to have, 4 of. 3 of Refilling Raizer, onto our grade 2s by the way, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept, auto Vandereer, when it attacks, one of your other units gets +3 to end of turn, and if it's rest, it gets +5 instead of +3. So a way to give more power to someone. It's just really nice to have, you know, it can give someone +3, it unfortunately can't give it to itself, but at the same time it can give it +5 if the unit's rested, and considering the amount of times this deck can restand stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if it's that easy. So 3 copies of Refilling Raizer because he's really nice to have. 3 copies of Burst Raizer, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept, auto rear, when your Vanguard attacks, counterblast 1 and soul blast 1, stand this unit, and if your opponent has 4 more cards in their damage zone, it gets +3. So a 12k swinger, which is okay if they have 4 more damage, and also he has the ability to restand himself when the Vanguard attacks. A way to get more attacks, except the Vanguard skill only works at the end of the battle it attacked, or at least the main Vanguard skill, so like, it's not the best thing, but at the same time, it's not a once per turn. And if you time this right, then you could get a lot of attacks with this. So Burst Raizer is a nice grade 2 to have, 3 of. 3 of high-powered Raizer Custom, 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept, auto Vandereer. When placed, you may call a Battle Raizer from your soul to rearguard to the same column as it. Basically, do not call this to Excel Circle because then it would be useless, and it is mandatory, I believe, because it doesn't have a cost. And then auto Vandereer, when its attack hits a Vanguard, counterblast 1, put a Battle Raizer from your rear into soul, and stand one of your other rear guards. One of the oldest Raizers in all of time, and yet for some reason, in my opinion, this is one of the most useful ones because, you know, he can get you an extra rear guard, still get you that Battle Raizer back to soul, and possibly stand one of your rear guards if it hits. So high-powered Raizer Custom is a nice grade 2 to have, 3 of. And now into our last grade 2 and our new main boy of grade 2s, 4 copies of Ultimate Raizer Dual Flare. 9k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with Intercept, continues Vandereer during your turn. If you have no stand rear guards in your front row, this unit gets +3 for each of your grade of your opponent's Vanguard. Oh, that is so annoying to fight against because you could just add power onto this and it does count itself as stand rear guards, but you know, if you just rest it, then it automatically doesn't count. And that's just a way to get multi-attack if you play it right. So that's a nice ability, followed by auto rear. At the end of the battle, the attack, put it to soul, choose one of your Vanguards, it gets +5, and if you have no face-up cards in damage zone, you get a counter charge out of it. So a way to counter charge besides a Trans Raizer down there, and also a way to get more soul and to put itself to soul. So 4 copies because it's a nice grade 2 who can also just get a lot of power. 4 copies of Perfect Raizer, 12k base, grade 3 Twin Drift, Excel Gift, I don't know why I was about to say Protect Gift, auto Van when it attacks, counterblast 2 to stand 2 of your front row rear guards. Yeah, 2 rear guards in your front row. So, the oldest Raizer boy. Ah, yes, the standing of front row rear guards. Not necessarily the best thing, but he does have more targeting than what I believe was Inside's Raizer, to where it stands only the Excel Gift boys. So at least this one gives you the choice because Excel Gift ones won't be able to activate from stuff like Raizer Custom, so Raizer Custom won't stand with it. So I like how Perfect Raizer has that versatility with him, followed by Auto Van when its attack hits. If you have a card with Raizer and its card name in your soul, countercharge 1 and this unit gets +5 till end of turn. This is almost guaranteed to happen. Like, if it hits, which is doubtful, but if it does hit, you're probably getting that countercharge and +5 off. So, nice to have. If only they could attack multiple units at once, but of course that only belongs to things like Carissa and Brawlers apparently, and Vermilion, but still Perfect Raizer, nice grade 3 to have, and he was the OG Raizer, so it'd be kind of disrespectful not to have him considering that, you know, he was the testing ground for all Excel decks, and while he was sidestepped away really quickly, he deserves some relevance, so 4 copies. And 4 copies of our last grade 3 in the utter disappointment, he is Ultimate Raizer Mega Flare. 12k base, grade 3 Twin Drive Excel Gift, auto Van at the end of the battle that your Raizer rear guard attacked, counterblast 2 restless unit and stand that unit and this unit. Okay, and then auto Van at the end of the battle that attacked. If you have no stand from or rear guards, counterblast 1, choose a grade 2 Raizer from your soul, ride it as stand, then at the end of the turn, choose a grade 3 Raizer from your soul, ride it as rest. So a way to get more Excel Gifts, I guess, and a way to swap your Vanguards if the thing you want it ends up in soul, but he only works for Raizer rear guards, which is fine, because if you play it right, you could just dual flare the fuck out of someone until like they're eventually dead or until you run out of counterblast, which granted, you'd only get like 2 attacks out of it, but 2 attacks is better than like, I mean, sorry, 3 attacks, but 3 attacks is better than 1 attack, but still. And then the other ability is at the end of the battle that attacks, if it had anything else, I feel like this would be like a lot better. Like, if it didn't say rest this unit, it would be so much better because, like, it's a way to get more attacks out of it, with and a possibly way to get more drive checks at least. And if you play it right, you could go attack, attack, counterblast 2, stand it, and maybe lose the drive to be fair, and then it just keeps attacking. It would be a way to get more attacks, because all it is right now is just a worse version of Blouse, because Blouse could at least get like the 10k if you added the grade 2 install, which is really easy to get. So it's not that good. Like, in comparison, it's either this or Blouse. In terms of pricing, I'm not so sure how expensive this is going to be, but like, in terms of pricing, if Blouse are cheaper, you might as well go with Blouse, because in all honesty, they're kind of better. If you're the type of person that really likes the Raizer aesthetic, go with Raizers. Like, if you want more tax, Raizers has like that bit more, like by 1 or 2. Blouse has more power in general, so it's honestly up to you. But Raizers get shut down by a trigger a lot easier. I should know. I've played against Raizers, I've played against Blouse. I know which one's more annoying to fight against. And I also know which one's more annoying to play. So, Mega Flare, while he is a good card, and with certain cards like Cat Butler, he can be good, because you're meant to ride this, by the way, if that wasn't already clear. It's not necessarily the best grade 3, and it's kind of a disappointment. 4 of, I guess. On to our Excel gifts, we have 7 Excel 1s. You know what Excel 1 does is just, when acquired, you get a new front or rear guard circle, and the unit on that circle gets plus 10 during your turn. You first put it to your left front row, then you put it to your right front row, and then you keep switching between those two, because that is a genuine ruling. But you know, it's the one that gives you more power, the one that Perfect Raizer grew up with, and the one that got immediately changed out for everything else the second this came into effect. Imaginary Gift Axel 2. When acquired, put it on a new forward rear guard circle, you draw a card, and the unit gets plus 5 instead of plus 10, and then you still put it left, right, left, right. So, you know, this one, while this one requires you to like have units predestined but gives them more power, this one can possibly give you a unit, and while it gives it less power, you still have more rear guards to call. So Excel 2 is typically better, plus you can get multiple Excel gifts a turn. Even though it's just 2, it's still something. So probably go with Excel 2, but if you're trying to kill them quickly, go Excel. Then there's our Quick Shield. When one of your units attack, it gets plus 5 for the end of battle. It's just a blitz order, and it's a grade 0, nothing special. And that was the deck, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry that went a bit fast, and sorry it wasn't as entertaining as you thought it would. It's not that easy to like talk about something entertaining, especially when you've play tested a lot, and even with like the addition of Cat Butler, it's still worse than Blouse. Let's all be fair. Like, they could have done something with Raizers. They give Raizers the first taste of an Excel deck, and they get cursed off immediately by everything that exists, and then they don't give them a single bit of support to overdress, and then even then that support is just a copy of Blouse. They could have made Raizers much better than they did, but they chose not to instead. This is basically Vanguard's version of Gen X from Yu-Gi-Oh! Except not as bad. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and go check out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your Vanguards.